Well, hello there, God's children. It's your favorite unsalted cracker. It's your boy, it's Brother Reed as always. Now, people, we are coming up on the 5th year anniversary of the PlayStation 5 this November. It's going to be out 5 years. And, you know, they've been some good games. Don't get me wrong, they have been. But we're seeing a lot of just missing, going months without an exclusive game, going months without just something that's special. The PlayStation 4 had special games. It seems like it was the perfect system, the PlayStation 4 was. And I would say the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 4 would be my favorite systems of all time. PlayStation 3, it started out slow. But the PlayStation 5, I think, you look at it, people. Let's look at it from this point of view. The PlayStation 5 is expensive. It was $500. We've seen the price of the PlayStation 5 go up as the generations went on. We've seen PlayStation Plus go up in price. And we've seen Sony cut a lot of funding and just focusing on exclusive, big, AAA games. We're not seeing them focus on a lot of smaller independent games like the PlayStation 4 did. And to me, it looks like we are in a generation that is going to become forgotten in a way. Now, of course, Sony can still recover from this. And who knows when the PlayStation 6 will come out. Who knows what kind of system that's going to be. They're saying it's going to be a hybrid and all this. But it feels like the games, while there's plenty of great games on the PlayStation 5, don't get me wrong, because of backwards compatibility and all that, it feels like it just feels empty. Doesn't feel like it's just special like the PlayStation 4 was. That's, what I'm saying? It just comes down to games at the end of the day. The Switch, people talk about how underpowered the Switch was and all that. The regular Switch. But that system had seemed like it had a big game coming out every month. It seems like Nintendo had game after game lined up. And PlayStation 4, it seemed the same way. There was always something exciting on the horizon. While there's still some good games come out on the PlayStation 5, it just doesn't feel the same. We've always joked for years that, the Xbox, it doesn't have games. And it does have some games, but people joke about that. It doesn't really have any great games. But, the PlayStation 5, it has great games. It just doesn't have the variety. And, I guess the thing is, you pay more for the system. You expect more from it. Because, it costed $500 versus what the PlayStation 4, I believe, was it $399, something like that? It was $100 cheaper, I believe, when it came out. But that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. It just it feels like diminished returns because, graphically you feel like, well, it doesn't look much better than the PlayStation 4. You're like, it doesn't look much better. And, of course, we've got to the point of diminished returns, it looks like. It looks like developers are more worried about pushing graphics and all this. And it seems like the fun is disappeared. It's disappearing. With the Switch, it just had so many games coming out. Even though it was graphically underpowered, it had fun games. It had good experiences, great experiences that you never will forget. And the PlayStation 5, it's not a lost cause. It's just coming off the heels of the PlayStation 4. It had a lot to live up to. It really did have a lot to live up to. And it's not lived up to it yet. Now, the support, and let's not forget this, the PlayStation 4, they had so many cross-platform games, like the God of War game, that was cross-platform, cross-gen, whatever you want to say. I'm talking about cross-gen, not cross-platform. Played on the PlayStation 4, you could play it on the PlayStation 5, and that took away from it. Like if God of War would have been a PlayStation 5 exclusive, that's why you really can't say, well, it's got God of War Ragnarok. You can't really say that because the PlayStation 4 had it too. But I don't know, people. It's just one of those things. I'm using my PlayStation 5 right now as a Fortnite machine. And that's Just how it is. I mean, there's games coming out. I know that. There's that Ghost of the new game came out. I forgot what it was called, but I'm just not excited about it. I can't explain it. The excitement doesn't feel there. It doesn't feel like it's there right now with the PlayStation brand. I've got PlayStation Plus and all this. I've got all these games I can play from the past and all that. It just doesn't feel magical like the PlayStation 4, people. It really does. And the sales also show it. There's no way the PS5 is going to be able to catch, the PlayStation 4 in lifetime sales. And you still got I forget, it's so many people. There's still so many people still playing the PlayStation 4. And I feel like, Sony needs to probably wait 3 to 5 years before they put out a new PlayStation, because I just feel like we've not got our money's worth out of this PlayStation 5. I feel like the games are missing. I think we was just so spoiled with the PlayStation 4. It had just so many games. So many great games. And the PlayStation 5 does too. And of course, one thing you have to always remember is that your PlayStation 4 games are going to look better on the PlayStation 5. That's one thing. But again, is it a big enough difference? And the PlayStation 5 Pro, of course, I never got that because I just... like the PlayStation 4 Pro, I got it because I was excited, but I just wasn't excited with the PlayStation 5 Pro. I really wasn't. So it is what it is, people. I believe prices going up and games, they're just worried. It's just games don't seem like they're that much graphically better. I mean, I know they are, but it doesn't seem like it's just a huge difference. Look at that. It just doesn't seem like a big difference. Like the PS3 to the PS4, to me, that was a big difference. But the PS4 to the PS5, I guess the PS4 Pro is where I'm coming from, then to the PS5, it just doesn't seem like it's a huge difference. But that's my thoughts on this. This looks like it's the forgotten generation, people. And of course, with the PlayStation 6 coming out, who knows what that's going to bring for us. And some people say it'll be 2 years. I've heard people say it's going to be 5 more years. Who knows when the PlayStation 6 is coming out? But if I was Sony, I would wait. I'd wait possibly 3 years or more, just because. So many people still play the PlayStation 4. There's even a big community of PlayStation 3 fans that play the PlayStation 3, just because all the multiplayer is free on the PlayStation 3. You still see a lot of people playing on the PlayStation 3. So we're looking at diminished returns, I would say. If the PlayStation 6 come out in a year or two, I just don't, unless it's something totally special and just unbelievable, which it needs to be. It needs to be like a hybrid system or something to really get people excited. But if it's not that, you're going to put out a PlayStation 6 that's going to sell less than the PlayStation 5, because it's going to cost so much more to put out, just like Microsoft thinking about having a $1,000 Xbox coming out. The PlayStation 5 is not going to be far behind it, if not the same price. So we'll see what happens, people. But so far, we are living in the generation that I call the generation that wasn't. Could possibly be the forgotten generation of gaming. Not forgotten, but it'd be like, well, that was a letdown. Look at that. Kind of like when you go from Super Nintendo to GameCube, N64, like that. A letdown like that. So anyway, guys, kind of like going from the Wii to the Wii U. You see what I'm saying? That's the perfect example right there. You go from 360 to Xbox One. Look at that. Then you go from Xbox One to Xbox Series X, and you see the letdown. You see they have to have something special. It's got to be something special. When it comes down to games, it really does. That's what it pretty much comes down to at the end of the day. And it's got to be exclusive games that make you want to buy that system. So you can't do the cross generation. We'll put it out on PS4, PS5, whatever. But that's my thoughts on this. And anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. So as always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, destiny is all. Love one another. And I'll see you guys next time as always. Have a great day now. Toodles.